Welcome to Beyond Investments with your host, Seth Leishman of Ostrofe Financial Consultants. Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but its accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. Neither LPL Financial nor the hosts of this show or accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Consult with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Ostrofe Financial Consultants, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. Today's guest, Rick Fisher, is a financial advisor with Ostrofe Financial Consultants, National Planning member SIPC. And now, Beyond Investments, here's your host, Seth Leishman.
Good morning, and welcome to Beyond Investments here on News Talk KNCO AM 830.
Howdy, folks.
Rick Fisher and Seth Leishman here from Ostrofe Financial. We are excited for today's show. It's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. We've had a little fun before the show, getting ready and goofing around. We're going to have a fun little topic today, I think.
Been in the news quite a bit, almost daily, at least on the sources that we watch.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Made a lot of headlines recently. But what are we going to start with today, though, before we dive into our topic?
We will start with some, unless you want to comment on the weather. Neither of us have done anything recently, have we?
Not really. It's been nice. Baseball season's coming to an end. Kids are excited about school ending, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you remember that? I can distinctly remember. It's for some reason it was like 5th and 6th grade. Last day of school, getting your bike and riding home, and just knowing you have the whole summer.
Oh, it felt like it was, I'm going to have a long time. It's going to be so great.
Yes.
And then it goes away so fast.
Yes, it does.
But absolutely, last day of school, very much looking forward to it. Next week, that's it. Next week will be the last week. So
do you play Schools Out by Alice Cooper for your kids?
We always do. Yep, that's
Good.
Always a tradition. And it'll be Friday treat day. And then that evening will be 8th grade promotion for my second. We don't call it graduation because you don't graduate from 8th grade.
Correct. You get promoted to
You're promoted to the high school, and or also even a little bit, probably better words, you matriculate.
Matriculate?
You are matriculating from middle school to high school. It is not a graduation, although some people make it a big deal.
Yeah, see, when I was growing up in our school district, the grades were totally different. So grade school went up to 6th grade.
Okay.
And then middle school was 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Ah.
And then high school was 10th, 11th, 12th.
Got it. Very good. Yes. So, yes, we've got some varied opinions out there. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
About the need to have some kind of a big celebration for a kid going from 8th grade up to 9th grade. I think it's exciting to go to high school. Should we have a giant graduation party for an 8th grader? I completely disagree with. Yeah, but that's okay. Everybody to each their own. To each their own. But yes, let's dive into some trivia though.
Okay, I'm going to have to excuse myself because the pollen, I don't know if it affects you. Not only does my car get dirty after like 2 hours.
Oh, exactly.
But it's getting a tickle in my throat. So if I don't sound the greatest, that's why. But we'll start with trivia anyways.
Okay, very good.
So it started in the year 2000, so 23 years ago.
Yes.
Lucent Technologies, haven't heard that name in a while.
It's been a while.
Announces that it's buying Chromatus Networks, an optical networking company, for $4.5 billion. Bob Barron, chief executive for Chromatus, predicts that his company will bring, quote, several $100 million in revenues over the next year, even though Chromatus has virtually no customers yet.
Oh, dear.
Says one analyst. Lucent paid on the order of $29 million per employee. That's just about what you have to spend to scoop up an optical equipment startup these days. In August 2001, just 15 months later, Chromatus goes down as one of the most overpriced acquisitions of all time as Lucent shuts down after attracting only 2 customers.
Ooh.
Maybe $20 million per employee was a bit much to pay after all.
Oh, that's brutal.
1974. And this is from Jason Zwig, by the way. I have to say that. 1974, the first money market mutual fund with check writing privileges, Fidelity Daily Income Trust, opens for business. It's a new weapon in mutual funds battle with banks. Instead of having to wait 7 days to receive a redemption, investors can now use a mutual fund just like writing a check, like a checking account. And the fund, Fidelity's first no-load offering, rakes in more than $800 million in the first month.
Wow.
74, wow.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, 1919. Wow. The New York Stock Exchange closes its doors for the day so that the quote-unquote frenzied clerks can clear the paperwork from a tumultuous month during which volume regularly exceeded an astonishing 1.5 million shares a day.
That was a big number back then.
But it's all manual back in 1919,
exactly.
So you're manually having to deal with that.
It's a lot.
Moving on to baseball, or sports actually, but it's just baseball trivia.
Very good.
I
baseball.
Couldn't find any. There's lots of golf stuff, but I wouldn't know what to pick. So.
Right, that's true.
And from this day in sports, in 1925, baseball player Eddie Collins becomes the 6th player to get 3,000 hits.
Wow.
And before you ask the question, yes, I do know the previous 5.
Oh, really?
Cap Anson, Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb, Nap Lajoie, some people say Lajoie, and Tris Speaker. And I'm pretty sure those are the correct ones. Anyways.
Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb were the only 2 that I know the name of.
And those are kind of household names. The others,
Yep.
you'd have to be a baseball nerd.
Correct.
Moving on to, in the 1932, future Baseball Hall of Famer first baseman Lou Gehrig, first to hit 4 consecutive home runs in a major league game. New York Yankees beat the Philadelphia A's 20-13 at Shibe Park. The first one to hit 4 bombs.
That's a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it is. Moving on to music trivia, 1976. The Who gave themselves a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the loudest performance of a rock band at 120 decibels when they played at Charlton Athletic Football Ground. I remember that because when I was a kid, I used to get the World Book almost every year.
Right.
And I just used to love it. I remember them saying that
the Who had been the loudest.
The loudest at 120 decibels, which at the time I didn't mean anything to me because I hadn't been in any concerts yet.
Right. That came up, it was just over the weekend. I was watching with my daughter the Grand Tour.
Oh, yes.
With our 3 favorite English,
Yes.
English hosts from the previous show of Top Gear.
Yep.
And the episode, they had American muscle cars. They were in Detroit.
Oh, yes, I love that one.
And they went in to a building and tried to break that record by using cars, though, to get 120 decibels.
I like the other one where they're going through Europe and Richard has the Challenger and has to bring 2 trailer trucks full of tires because he's doing burnouts everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyways, okay, moving on. So 1966, so 10 years before the Monkees. Filming began on the Monkees' first TV series. I remember the Monkees TV series. That's how old I am. The Monkees' first single, Last Train to Clarksville, was released in August of 1966, just weeks prior to the TV broadcast debut. In conjunction with the first broadcast of the television show on September 12th, on the NBC network, NBC and Columbia had a major hit on their hands. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And in general history, 1885, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg of Battle Creek, Michigan, files an application patent for, quote, flaked cereal in the process of making the same, controversially excluding his younger brother, Will Keith Kellogg.
Oh.
So there was probably a little fight over that.
I bet.
So that's it for trivia today.
All righty. Well, we're going to have some fun talking about a topic that's been making a lot of headlines.
And I think we'll continue to for the next few years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence.
As opposed to OI, organic intelligence.
Correct. Yes, very good. So we're going to come right back. You're listening to Beyond Investments right here on News Talk AM 830.
Today's guest, Rick Fisher, is a financial advisor with Ostrofe Financial Consultants, National Planning Member SIPC.
Welcome back to Beyond Investments here on News Talk KNCO AM 830. Rick, we're going to talk about AI. It's been making a lot of headlines recently. We've had a well-known stock that's been out there, been in the top 10 in the S&P 500 in terms of their index for quite a few years now. NVIDIA came out with earnings and they're
exploded.
And it exploded. Oh, I mean, it was up like 20-something% in one day.
And it's come back a little bit now. But
Yes. But, having management also give out their guidance for what they think what the future was going to hold and how much artificial intelligence was going to, it was and or is really, because they're kind of forward guidancing.
Right.
Looking at the future of what AI can do for their company, they were, beyond belief, extremely bullish.
Yes.
It even put NVIDIA alongside
Apple,
Amazon, Microsoft, and Google
as $1 trillion company.
As a $1 trillion market cap company. Briefly, it did pull back a little bit, so it is below that. But man, that was pretty rarefied air to be over $1 trillion market capitalization, and really on the back of the unknown of what really AI is going to eventually do and whatnot.
Well, it's kind of funny because, artificial intelligence, this is nothing new. It's been around. We've been talking about it for decades.
Oh, decades.
And, I remember back when, and it's funny because you remember the Terminator movies.
Of course.
And there's a whole series, and they talk about, AI started this and the machines turned on man. And there are leaders right now in the AI space. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has talked about
and others have talked about, and they are stating concern that we need to have a plan for this.
Yes.
We need to have some guidance, some guidelines. We need to be somewhat cautious because if it gets out of our hands, it could be apocalyptic. They've almost said that, which is kind of alarming because it's not just some, kook. It's not like some podcast person saying this out there. These are supposedly respected people.
Correct.
So it gives you pause that it's getting to the point now where we can do things we couldn't do 10 years, 15 years ago.
That's right.
And part of it's very exciting.
Oh, yeah. Some of it's very exciting.
But there is that cautionary tale. There's, so maybe you can, obviously the one, I guess, program that's out there is Chat GPT, which is... That's
a popular one, certainly.
And you can't buy that stock. That's not they're a privately held company that's developed this, right?
Yep, private business. If, all you listeners out there, if you've gone on to Chat GPT, then you've experienced a little bit of what some AI things can do. They're probably one of the most kind of popular ones right now for the individual. For fun, we did a couple of, I've got the Chat GPT open.
Okay.
And so it's their website. Company is actually called OpenAI is the company name. Founded last year or very recently.
And there's, many companies have been working on this for,
but
it's already here. Google, all the search engine stuff,
yes.
a lot of that is artificial intelligence.
There's a lot of it's artificial intelligence, but this has kind of been, this is a little bit unique and interesting because this is one of the first times where, for example, I'll use my example here that I have right here. And we can click on this and you can see what it did, what it is, I won't say capable of, but how quickly these things are making adjustments. So typed into ChatGPT the following.
Okay.
Can you write a 1,000-word speech about the importance of the Second Amendment to our freedom? And about 30 to 45 seconds later, it was done, completed, typed out, printable, and I could absolutely give this speech if I were at somewhere that I wanted to, because it just starts out. It's amazing what it produced.
No spelling errors, no punctuation errors, eloquent.
Very eloquent. Today, I stand before you to shed light on a topic that has been at the forefront of discussions and debates for centuries: the importance of the Second Amendment to our freedom. And it goes on and on and on. And It's fantastic. And it actually wrote a very eloquent 1,000-word speech. The other interesting thing that we tested out, was to say, hey, can you write give me a few paragraph stock market update, that we would say, oh, this would be an interesting thing to, maybe on the radio or send out in an email, right? Which, we've done ourselves for years.
Absolutely.
We've written things and put, and so typed it in, said, how about give me a stock, can you write a stock market update for May 31st? that includes year-to-date information and debt ceiling issues. And again, same thing. 30 seconds later.
Yep.
As May comes to a close, the stock market experienced a mixed month characterized by volatility and investor caution, and goes on and on and on.
That's more eloquent than I would do it.
Absolutely.
So the question would be
quite intriguing.
So the question would be, if we were to do articles again, because we used to, now we have the radio show. Before we used to do articles.
Yes.
And trying to come up with a topic every single month and write it, it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yes.
But with ChatGPT, if I gave it to the parameters,
right,
it could probably write, and I could keep it under 500 words because I'd always go over 500 words with a paper.
Correct.
And they'd have to do some editing. If I submitted it, would I be plagiarizing since I gave it the parameters, but I didn't write it? And then if I have to source it, do I just source ChatGPT?
We're in a new world.
Yeah.
At our local congregation at church the other day, a young teenager was giving what we call a talk. So giving up and giving a little sermon.
Okay.
A short one, right? 3 minutes. And very similarly, given a topic beforehand.
Right.
To say, hey, can you 3 to 5 minutes, here's your topic. And very, and in his way to be kind of somewhat humorous, to add a little humor, he started it by saying, I did not type this into ChatGPT first. This is written by me.
Okay. That's a disclosure I think a lot of kids are going to have to make to their teachers.
I think
teachers are going to go, did you write this?
Is this really you?
I wouldn't want to be a composition teacher or an English teacher in the next few years.
Right.
That's going to be a challenge. I mean, I don't mean to belittle it.
It's absolutely going to be a challenge. Because to tell the difference between the writing, it could be very difficult. Because you get and then you wonder how often, what kind of changes does ChatGPT do based on who's inputting or asking the question, right? Because I've got an account with at a 41-year-old person,
right?
What happens when a teenager has an account on ChatGPT and it says, I need an essay for tomorrow for Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, exactly. I need it. Yeah, give me the cliff notes.
Yes. Can you write me Can you write a 300-word synopsis about Huckleberry Finn from a 13-year-old's perspective? It's like. This thing could go. I mean, there's all kinds of parameters. There's all kinds of repercussions.
I have a feeling you're going to do some experimentation with your kids at ChatGPT. Now that you have an account,
absolutely,
you're going to start playing with this. See
absolutely.
What I've started. So step backwards a little bit. Artificial intelligence. When do you think it was founded as an academic discipline?
Oh, I mean, probably in the 1960s, 70s,
1956.
1956.
Yep.
Wow.
And I guess it's had several waves of optimism, and then it's gone up and down and up and down, and
yeah.
So we shall. So I mean, I think one of the concerns is from people's standpoint is that AI will make some of our jobs obsolete, so to speak. I mean, there's a lot of things that an AI computer, based on what you were saying, like.
Yeah,
writing articles.
Yes,
you wouldn't need people to edit and all that because it's going to do it perfectly. But one thing it can't do is it can't tell the future.
Correct.
And from what we can tell right now, it can't get into your personal account. So if you ask give me all the information on so and so.
Right, which we did for fun.
Yes, we did for fun.
So for all you listeners out there, we typed in, can you find Frederick Fisher on social media? And I asked it that question, and it says. Right away, it says, I apologize. I don't have access to personal data about individuals. So there is some level of protection there, that it is saying, hey, look, I'm not going to go out and find all this kind of personal data. It's not a CIA dig into the, kind of that kind of robotic
But that
stuff.
begs the question, just because it isn't, doesn't mean that others haven't.
Correct.
And has that, we're starting to live in somewhat of a surveillance state, and it's amazing what they can find out.
Absolutely. And then the idea that AI will predict future. Right. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report,
or Back to the Future 2,
Back to the Future 2. So for fun, we typed in before the show here. We typed in who is the most likely to win the Super Bowl next year.
Yes.
And it says, I don't have access to real-time data or the ability to predict future events, including sport outcomes like the Super Bowl, which I appreciate. I go, okay, interesting, very good. So they're not necessarily trying to make things like jump to predictions. So very intriguing. This AI, artificial intelligence, but it's nothing new.
No, and again, a lot of the big companies, year to date, other companies that have been into the AI circle that have had pretty good gains so far this year. So Microsoft up 37% for the year.
Yep.
Google up 39%. Amazon up 42%. And this is as of May 31st.
Yes.
Okay. Apple up 38%. Meta, which really
Facebook.
Facebook up 117%. The big one, which you mentioned earlier, NVIDIA up 162%. So the AI space is hot right now.
It is.
Now, as I was saying before, it's had many waves. And I'm sure this is the biggest of all the waves, but it will be a wave.
It could be.
And
Absolutely.
at some point, these evaluations, if there's not a practical, profitable application for it, things will come back to normal, and then they'll spike up again. So,
yes.
As I say, it's time in the market, not timing the market. If you're thinking of, I'm going to jump on a bunch of AI stocks,
right?
Be prepared that you may be catching the top of the wave.
Could be catching near tops, but
we just don't know. That's why being diversified, time in the market. But it is somewhat exciting. Some people are saying, well, we're going to replace .com bust to .ai, and others saying, no, this is totally different.
Right.
And time will tell.
Time will tell.
But it is exciting. But some people have expressed that it may be a little bit scary. And if you've seen any of the Terminator movies, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And the fact that some big people are talking about it is somewhat concerning. Because they obviously know a lot more about this and its capabilities than you and I do.
Absolutely, they do. No, I'm just dipping my toes in, essentially. So for fun here, how about this one? Into ChatGPT.
Right.
Can you write a 300-word book report about Huckleberry Finn from a 14-year-old perspective?
Okay, it's specific.
Get ready for what it kicked out. You ready for this? I'll just read the first little part.
Okay.
Huckleberry Finn is an exciting and thrilling adventure novel written by Mark Twain. As a 14-year-old reader, I found this book to be a captivating journey that took me back to a time when life was simpler and freedom was the ultimate goal. The story revolves around Huck, a young boy who decides to escape his abusive father and embarks on a daring adventure down the Mississippi River. He is accompanied by Jim, a runaway slave seeking freedom. Together, they face numerous challenges, encounter colorful characters, and navigate the moral complexities of their society.
Other than the moral complexity of their society, that does not sound like a 14-year-old.
Exactly. I'm like, pretty...
Other than that, pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. Because also when you limit it to when I said limited 300 words, the ending of this at the bottom here, as I scroll down, it ends with, the writing style of Mark Twain is exceptional. He has a unique way of capturing the essence of the Mississippi River and the spirit of the American South. Huckleberry Finn is a book that challenges its readers to think critically and question the norms of, and that's it. It didn't even finish the sentence.
It didn't finish the sentence.
Because I hard cap at 300 words, it stopped in the middle of a sentence. Quite interesting, right? This whole artificial, you're right. This is nothing new. We've had how many? It's got to be dozens, if not actually more like realistically hundreds of movies, books, television shows.
Oh yeah.
This is not something that's brand new, although it's caused a big frenzy or a wave in the stock market.
Again, it's at the next level, and again, the way people are talking, there's a lot more about this that we don't know.
That's right.
And may be concerning because
it is absolutely. This is ChatGPT. Get on there. It's you have a little free account. It's fun to tool around in. But you can see how we're just getting up the start, really, of what this thing possibly could be capable of.
And the more data it has access to, the more it can learn, and that's one of the issues.
That's one of the issues. And you go, okay, this is getting interesting. And
so putting some borders around it, putting some limitations.
Yes. It's very intriguing, especially as technology just advances at such a rapid pace. It's just amazing what it can and can't do. Well, as always, it's a fun topic today, Rick. We had a great, interesting artificial intelligence and how it is kind of taking the market by storm recently in the last couple of months. It's been something that's driven a lot of growth for these large tech in particular, right? I mean, the top 5 S&P 500 names are driven by AI this year.
Exactly. It's
absolutely.
just the theme of the year right now. So
yeah, absolutely. So as always, though, you can go to our website. It is not an artificial intelligence website, nor is it driven by artificial intelligence. At ostrofinancial.com. You can click on the news link there and download or stream previous shows. And as always, talk to a real human.
Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but its accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. Neither LPL Financial nor the hosts of this show or accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Consult with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Ostrofe Financial Consultants, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.